We are up and away from LA. Game 3. Whoever wins moves on to the Western Conference Finals. Nikki Teasley against an early zone defense by Minnesota.
Well, and Minnesota's coming out of the zone because LA, every time they play them, they have a set play off the tip. Minnesota wanted to mix it up early, and it didn't work.
Teasley going deep for 3. She missed all 9 of her three-point attempts in game 2. Dead on solid and giving LA the early 3-0 lead.
Offensively, you'll see Minnesota look to get Katie Smith open a lot, and if not, they'll look inside, but they have a lot of threats at the offensive end. Abrosamova's very good. Katie Smith's very good. Williams is good. All of them can score inside and out.
Teresa Edwards running the point. We'll hear from her coming up at halftime. Janelle Burse all alone inside. Pretty dish from Teresa Edwards, who finished 6th in the league in assists during the course of the regular season.
And Janelle Burse has really stepped up her game since starting since the midpoint of the season. And she's done a heck of a job against Milton and Leslie.
Janelle actually only played 15 minutes in game number 2. From the corner off the mark, Tamika Dixon. The board goes to Delisha Milton. And a reset on the shot clock. Quickly get it into Lisa Leslie. Get a shoulder shake and the feed to Delisha Milton.
Well, and you take chances. You double team Lisa Leslie like the Lynx did right there. And she can find open people. So that's always a risk when you're double teaming Leslie.
Katie looking for Tamika Williams. Instead, it's Abrosamova in the corner. And now King out behind the line at career best in shooting from the field and three-point range. That's where Teresa Edwards unloads. 3 for 3, and we are tied at 5.
And that is definitely a good sign for Minnesota. Teresa Edwards has been fairly quiet throughout the season.
Leslie quickly with the interior post position on Tamika Williams. Boy, LA wasted no time in finding Lisa. And now right back at her goes Janelle Burse. Off the window and ripped out of there by Leslie.
And that's an interesting matchup, Janelle Burse and Lisa Leslie.
Bounce pass, Teasley. Oh, dandy dish to Milton.
Here's one of the problems right now with what's going on the floor. Lisa Leslie is matched up with one person at one end, and the matchups are different at the other end. So she's guarding Burse down here, but Burse is guarding somebody else at the other end. So if LA runs the ball, they might get open looks like that last one.
Burse with the offhand just past Lisa Leslie. So Janelle Burse has come out strong with 2 early hoops. Remember, she started the final 12 games of the season and averaged double figures. Milton, Burse on her. Spinning, fades on the baseline. Burse with a hand in her face. And the rebound went to Tamika Williams. Here comes Katie Smith in transition. Abrosamova, double team. Williams kicks it out now, Burse. Abrosamova lines up the three-pointer. Little shy, and Milton at the board.
Minnesota did not get a bucket on that last play, but I like their aggressiveness. They kept attacking and attacking. They need to keep doing that.
And again, quickly down the floor went Lisa Leslie trying to grab that low post position. She has it now, past Williams. Help from Burse. Shot off the mark, and a loose ball foul, I believe, on Lisa Leslie, who lost her balance.
Well, and just great help right there by Janelle Burse. LA threw the ball in down low. Janelle coming over to help and just loses her balance here, and really quite a silly foul. We talked with Cooper before the game about Lisa needing to be heady in this game. She has to stay in the game. She can't have silly fouls like that one. She should just let that go.
Michael Cooper said she needs to be more responsible. Tamika Williams. Her shot on the putback wouldn't drop, and a foul inside on Los Angeles. It's on Dixon. Lisa Leslie was in the vicinity, but it goes against Dixon. That would have been cause for concern for LA had Michael Cooper's star center Lisa Leslie picked up her second.
Not looking very concerned as of yet, but
Katie Smith drives past Mabika and then into the forest. Out it goes to Burse. And the rebound tipped over to Abrosamova. She's sent away by Leslie. Dixon, Mabika fakes up Burse for the easy lay-in.
what a great play by Moati Mabika right there, just getting Janelle Burse off her feet. Minnesota needs to be careful right here. They need to continue to be patient. Keep doing what they're doing. They haven't gotten their shots to fall as of yet, but again, they've been attacking the basket.
Edwards tries to force it inside on Milton. Back comes LA. Coming into this series, LA had swept 5 of their previous 6 series en route to their 2 titles. Excellent ball movement. Mabika wide open, and she drills it.
And again, every time Minnesota doubles down on Lisa Leslie when she gets the ball inside, she's going to look to kick it out, and they find the open person so well.
6-point lead for the Sparks. Katie Smith quickly covered there by Mabika. Crossover into the lane. Triple team to Brosimova. Straight and sweep to 3.
And I know Katie Smith is feeling like she's forcing those penetrations, but that's what she has to do. If you saw 2 or 3 LA defenders on her, that opened up set for that outside shot.
And that's where Brosimova needs and did step up in that situation.
And this is an interesting matchup. Svetlana against Nikki Teasley. Her job right now is to pressure Teasley to death.
Teasley gets her own miss. Now to an open Dixon, and she holds the play.
This is the 3rd offensive rebound that LA has gotten on Minnesota already in this game. Minnesota cannot afford to let LA go to the offensive boards like that.
LA shooting 64% from the field here in the early going.
Well, they're such a good team at the offensive end. You don't want to give them 2nd or 3rd chances.
Look at the space eater. Tamika Williams unable to convert. She has been so impressive in the first 2 games, combining for 33 points and 13 rebounds, playing all 80 minutes in the first 2 for Tamika Williams. Katie Smith goes off her hand out of bounds. LA will have it 18 on the shot clock. We've got our first timeout here from the Staples Center. Game 3, Lynx and Sparks. It's a 5-point edge for the 2-time defending champs.
Obviously, we have the height advantage over the Minnesota Lynx, and we definitely want to get the ball inside, but as you've seen the last 2 games, they're definitely coming hard with the triple team. So as long as my teammates are shooting the ball well from the outside, I think that'll kind of soften it up, and definitely want to continue to take the ball to the basket and also get it inside.
And Andrea, it's been a track meet for Lisa Leslie, sprinting down the court and getting that early position.
Well, the most important thing when you're a post player is to get good position early, and that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to beat her defensive player down the court, make Tamika Williams work very hard, and she's getting great position. Minnesota's countering that by double and triple teaming, and again, LA just doing a fabulous job of finding the open players. 7 assists already. 7. That's amazing.
And psychologically so important for Minnesota to stay close here in the first half.
And if you notice, Michelle Van Gorp is now in the game to guard Lisa Leslie, hoping to match up with her better and neutralize her.
And she replaces Janelle Burris, who scored 2 early buckets.
Well, and for the first time in 2 games in 5 minutes, Tamika Williams is off the floor.
Cherie Sam was also checked in during the last timeout. Here comes LA. Teasley trying to split the defenders, finds Leslie, and she earns a ticket to the line.
Nice job by Nikki Teasley right there, just to push the ball and find Lisa Leslie in the open floor. And just look how physical this is. Michelle Van Gorp going up to contest Lisa Leslie, not giving her anything easy. I'm telling you what, nothing is coming easy tonight. This is going to be all-out war.
Meanwhile, Susie McConnell-Serio has gone to her small ball, not only inserting Cherie Sam, but also Christy Harrower out on the floor.
Well, she really likes having Katie Smith at the 4 position. Right now, only with 1 true post on the floor, Michelle Van Gorp at 6'5" or 6'6". It makes them very difficult to guard.
Leslie says 1 of 2 at the line, 6-point lead for LA. 13:40 to go here in the first half. Andrea Lloyd-Curry. Hope you're enjoying this telecast either on Fox Sports Net or NBA TV. In the corner of Brosimova, now finds Harrower. Van Gorp face up on Leslie, right in her grill.
And that's a huge shot. Michelle Van Gorp had her elbow drained, her right elbow drained today, has had inflammation problems, and that is great confidence when she shoots that.
And pushing her outside of the key now defensively. Little elbow there for Leslie to get free. No call, but Cherie Sam comes away with it. You can see she used that elbow around the waist of Van Gorp, who now has it inside, and she is bludgeoned there by Mabika. Fans here in Los Angeles didn't like the call, but Van Gorp heads to the line for 2.
I'll tell you what, the one thing I like about Minnesota when Christy Harrower is in the game, she pushes the ball. And look at Michelle Van Gorp getting down the floor quickly and just drawing the foul. You know, there's matchup problems tonight. Again, both of these teams are going to push the ball, try to get early, quick, easy baskets. It'll be a racetrack out here for quite a while.
And again, we see Susie McConnell-Serio going to her bench early. Michael Cooper, he'll stick with his starting 5 all night long if he can.
Well, and I asked Susie, I said, what is LA's weakness? And she says, I don't know that they have one, but if there is one, it's the bench. And she's going to run a number of players at Nikki Teasley.
As Cherie Sam comes up with the pick at midcourt. Oh, but throws it away. She had a Rosa Nova who would have had the gimme lay-in.
Well, that's just a shame right there, but great effort by Cherie Sam. Right now, we said Svetlana Abrosimova was starting on Nikki Teasley to pressure her. It's now Cherie Sam's turn, and they are going to run one guard after another to try to pressure Nikki Teasley and tire her out.
Milton nearly lost it. Dixon fakes past Harrower. The shot wide left. Kicked around. Finally grabbed by Michelle Van Gorp. Harrower up ahead, and Svetlana Abrosimova was not paying attention.
Svetlana turned for just a moment to check out the defense, and Christie threw the ball right then. I don't mind these turnovers as much. I don't think Susie McConnell-Serio minds these turnovers as much when you're pushing the ball, trying to make things happen. It's the silly, unforced errors that you can't have.
Turnovers of aggression are okay. Nikki Teasley along the baseline to the rim and in for Teasley. That was a pretty move. She is such a spectacular ball handler. And then decides to boot from the point guard position.
Well, she's one of the few players that has all the skills of a Magic Johnson. Can pass and can score.
Van Gorp fires away from 18 feet. 45 Mabika. Numbers not in her favor. Chased down, though, by Abrosimova. Milton thought about a 3. Now shoots the 15-footer from the left elbow, and she drains it.
I'll tell you something. I've watched Felicia Milton shoot in warm-ups at different times, and she's really spotty. But when it comes to the game time, she is amazing. She knocks down some pressure shots, and that was one of them.
Biggest lead for LA right now, 7 points. Cherie Sam working on Mabika, tries to draw the foul, no call. Mabika holding her ground, and here comes Dixon. Behind the back, spinning past Harrower, but rejected from behind by Abrosimova. Heads-up play by Svetlana Abrosimova defensively.
Minnesota likes this tempo. They're going to continue to push it. We know that LA wants to run a half-court offense and slow it down. Minnesota doesn't want that.
Van Gorp bouncing into Leslie. And the ball jarred loose. Here comes Dixon. LA in transition again. 3-on-2. Pass to the left, and Milton takes it home. Timeout, Susie McConnell-Serio at the 20.
Well, there's a fine line between pushing the tempo and being aggressive and taking quick shots. And when you take quick shots, what happens? You get easy. Oh, here, look at Nikki Teasley. We talked about her ball handling ability and just her size. But we talked about quick shots on one end lead to fast breaks on the other end. And Milton just doing a great job of running the floor. And very nice court vision right there.
Andrea, we talked, too, about pick your poison for Minnesota. Would you rather get into a half-court battle with Los Angeles and their tall towers like Lisa Leslie and the long arms of Milton or Mabika? Or do you want to see them out and running? Boy, they are effective either way.
Well, you definitely want to push the tempo and be aggressive against LA. You can't be passive in a half-court situation or even in a full-court situation. The risk you run, though, is that if you are aggressive and you take shots that are maybe ill-advised, that people don't go to the offensive boards, what ends up happening is it gives an easy rebound to LA and they can get out and run quickly. So Minnesota has to pick and choose their shots and still stay aggressive.
6-0 run for the Sparks, opening up their lead to 9 points. They have actually led by 20 or more points in the last 3 meetings against Minnesota, including the last regular season matchup. A game that didn't mean much for Minnesota. They had already locked up their playoff position. 1 second on the shot clock for Harrower. forced to launch the three. And over the top, Nikki McCrimmon in a battle, and the foul will go against Michelle Van Gorp. So Michael Cooper does indeed finally go to his bench here in the first half, bringing in McCrimmon, and we have a full timeout. The personal, again, assessed to Michelle Van Gorp. But it's the Minnesota Lynx, the 4th seed in the Western Conference, finding themselves down 9 here in the first half.
Well, I am his tour manager.
Yo, Hollywood.
Lynx started out strong. They hit 3 of their first 5 shots from the field, but since then cooling off just 2 of their last 13. Nikki McCrimmon in there running the point in place of Nikki Teasley. And Teasley injuring that knee in game number 1, played just 10 minutes, but went the full 40 in game 2. So Michael Cooper giving her a quick low here in the decisive game. Leslie, triple team. McCrimmon fires from the baseline, and it's the wedgie. We saw that in game 2. Same place.
Well, it happens more often in women's basketball because the ball is a bit smaller.
You're going to need a shotgun to get that thing out of there.
And as a player, you never want to go up there and try to tip it out, because if you make a fool of yourself.
That thing is wedged in pretty tight. Watch this. There.
It'll go in and the fans will cheer.
Doesn't count. That's right.
The fans
yeah, he's feeling pretty good about himself, too. Tonight's officials, Sally Bell, Michael Price, and Kirk Walker, as we will have a jump ball in midcourt. Tamika Williams and the lankier Lisa Leslie. All 5 LA starters have scored in this game. And Leslie taps it out to McCrimmon.
I'm sure Nikki McCrimmon in the game. Like we said, Nikki Teasley is going to get pressured quite a bit tonight, and she's probably going to get tired. So I'm sure Michael Cooper trying to give her a bit of rest, give that knee a bit of rest.
McCrimmon fires it into another former USC player. Leslie, now it's Milton, nearly loses it. 8 on the shot clock. Mabika in the corner. It's McCrimmon again off the side of the glass. And Teresa Edwards stripped from behind by McCrimmon on the floor in a tussle with Harrower.
Well, and great hustle by Christy Harrower right there. And I think Nikki McCrimmon's going to end up coming out of the game right now after wedging the ball, hitting the side of the backboard, and committing a foul.
This is not a game, at least early on, that she's going to want to take and send home to the folks in Harlem.
Well, it's tough. You know, it's tough to be out there and come in cold off the bench.
Give her credit. Jacking them up. Got to have confidence.
You do, and you got to play aggressive. It's not time to second guess yourself right now.
9 minutes to go. Harrower shot straight and off the glass. Game 3, the Lynx and the Sparks. Series tied at 1-1. The winner advances to the Western Conference Finals. 7-point edge for LA here in the first half. Mabika for 3. Too strong, and Katie Smith there with the board.
Minnesota doing a nice job of recuperating out of that double team to Lisa Leslie and getting a hand in the shooter's face. Now they just need to turn around on the offensive end and be effective.
Still in that offensive drought. Harrower cut off now by Milton. Katie Smith drives past Alicia. Goes into the hands of Williams and tapped out of there by Leslie. Tamika had a good look at it. Other end, Alicia Milton all alone.
My goodness, what great court vision right there by Nikki Teasley. Just has her head up. She's big enough, got great passing skills, and found Milton down the court.
Nikki Teasley, who finished 3rd in the WNBA in assists. She threw a beauty in there to Milton. Loose ball foul against Los Angeles. And it's Wadi Mabika. Got a timeout, 7:50 to go here in the first half. The Sparks on top by 9. Alicia Milton already in double figures. She has 10 points, 5 of 8 from the field to go along with her 4 rebounds.
Alicia Milton is certainly somebody that we talked about before that is very competitive, as is number 30 right there, Katie Smith. As is Lisa Leslie. I'll tell you what, there's some competitive players out here, and it's fun to watch the really competitive ones step it up a notch when it's playoff time.
That's the reason they are all in the postseason. Remember, Minnesota started 3 of 5 when you look at their overall numbers from the field. Katie Smith has yet to score from the floor. Inside, Burse and Leslie tangled up, and here comes Minnesota.
Well, after starting off very strong early inside, Lisa's been pretty quiet. It's been LA's running game that's been so effective.
Burse wide open from 18 feet straight away. Boarded by Mabika. 13-10 rebounding advantage now for LA. Sam harassing Nikki Peasley out front. A little avail. Inside, Leslie off the glass.
And that's one thing Lisa Leslie can do. She doesn't even give the double team time to get over there. She just takes it up and over the top of the smaller Tamika Williams.
Biggest lead for the Sparks. They're up 11, double digits on Minnesota. Katie Smith shut off there, and Milton kicks it to reset the shot clock to 30.
You know, we talked earlier about the fact that LA is going to go inside, and they continue to go to Lisa Leslie. But here, Janelle Burse is able to get a handle on it. Here you see the second time. She doesn't even give the defense a chance to get there. Just up and over. That's why Lisa's so great. She's so good at reading the defense, even after she gets her shot blocked, which is a rarity.
Talk about the fact that Leslie missed 11 games for the Sparks. LA went only 4 and 7 in those games. Minnesota still trying to find the range. Now shooting just 25% from the field. LA on a 10-1 run.
Leslie, once again, goes window. Right over the top of Tamika Williams.
Well, you know what? We talked about composure early on, and I think you can see LA's playing with composure. You know, Katie Smith can do things like that. She can create her own shot, go one-on-one, but that's not really Minnesota's game.
Katie Smith hitting her first shot of the evening. The ball tipped off of Teasley, out of bounds by Cherie Sam.
And again, just Cherie Sam giving Teasley a hard time, making her work for everything she's going to get out there. But like I was saying a second ago, it's important for Minnesota to know the difference. They have to be aggressive, but they can't play one-on-one. And there is a difference. They have to reverse the ball, go inside like that, hit the offensive boards. And right now, they're just getting one shot, and that's what Michael Cooper wanted. One shot, and that was it. Box out. Don't let him have another one.
Lisa Leslie, so difficult to try to shoot over the top of this. Janelle Burse could tell you. 5:15 to go here in the first half. Cherie Sam grabs the Milton miss. Once again, stick around at halftime as Andrew Lloyd Curry will speak with the veteran. There she is, Teresa Edwards for three in the corner. Give it to her.
We've talked to Teresa at halftime, and we will talk to her, but we've talked to her several times, and she's looking to be assertive out here as well. She's kind of laid low throughout the season. I think she really wants to come out and contribute offensively tonight.
Leslie over the top of Janelle Burse. Right block, left block. Leslie going to work. Cherie Sam. And reaching in from behind was Leslie. Let's see if she picks up the personal. It is Leslie, and that's her second.
You know, sometimes that's the only thing you can do against Lisa Leslie is go get her in foul trouble and have her sit on the bench. She's just such an incredible post player. She gets great position. She reads the defense, and her post moves are exceptional. She works very, very hard in the off-season to improve her game. And that is the bread and butter for LA. Lisa Leslie inside.
Striking the pose after the shot as well. Leslie now has 9 points. Sam misfired.
Hey, they teach you that. They teach you that. You're supposed to follow through.
That's right.
That's all part of the LA thing, isn't it?
Always gets this showbiz around here.
Sure, Sam needs to hold her pose and hit a shot, like so.
1 of 2 at the line for Cherie, her first point. Coming off the bench for Minnesota.
And here you see that Minnesota pressure that was so effective in game 1.
And nearly worked here, except for Cherie Sam trying to save it from going backcourt.
I think Michael Cooper is going to call a quick timeout. He does not want to see the same thing happen in this game that has happened in the other 2 games, which is Minnesota comes out
they hit a free throw or they hit a shot and they go into their full court press, and what they're trying to do is get the ball out of the hands of number 42, Nikki Teasley. They don't want her with the ball in their hands. They want somebody else to handle the ball, and they're looking for a turnover or possibly even a quick shot at the other end. And we talked about Delisha Mills, and she's been incredible this game. She's competitive. The one thing she does so well, she's a gamer, but she's really active. It's very, very difficult to guard Delisha Mills. She's athletic, she's competitive, she's active, and she's got a 7'2" wingspan. I mean, the girl is an athlete, so it's been very good for, I think, the Sparks that she can come out and step up her game in the last 2 games.
Delisha had 13 points, 7 boards in game 1, and then had the double-double in game 2, 17 points with 10 rebounds. But she's already in double figures here. Teasley with the dribbling exhibition out on top against Cherie Sam. Looking for Milton in the low post. Checked there by Tamika Williams. Cross court. It's Mabika. That's a 2-pointer. Rims out. Edwards whips it up court to Smith. Crossover and finishes with the left. Katie Smith. Second hoop of the night for Katie.
Well, I'm just watching Minnesota out here. They're being very patient on defense, staying between their man and the basket, trying not to let Lisa get on the block. If they can make somebody else take the shot with a hand in their face, they're pretty happy.
Teasley, a little too much showboating, nearly lost it. 8 seconds, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Teasley for 3, rebounded by Edwards. Whips it ahead again to Katie Smith. Thinks about the 3, now finds Edwards. She launches for 3. Wouldn't drop.
That would have been a big bucket right there. Minnesota is staying very focused, and I know we talked about this in the open. It's important that they play for 40 minutes. LA may outplay them for a few minutes at a time.
And Van Gorp draws the offensive foul. 3rd personal on Wesley. This is exactly what Michael Cooper feared, having to sit his star player. She's picked up her 3rd with 3:12 to go until halftime. Tracy Murray watching from the Staples Center. And what he saw was actually a turnover by Lisa Leslie, not her 3rd personal foul.
I know that woman. You watch the practice? Tom,
I have 3 kids. I'm putting them to bed while the practice is airing. See a lot of Disney Channel in our house. So Lisa Leslie still out there, 2 personal fouls. It was just a turnover. Minnesota with the ball, and 10 seconds on the shot clock.
And attacking the zone. LA's gone to their zone.
5 on the shot clock. Harrower, she's going to need to release, but the shot clock explodes on Minnesota.
And just a great call right there by Michael Cooper to have his team come out, recognize what's going on with the shot clock, and come into his zone and make Minnesota adjust to something different. I'm sure he'll probably come out of that. Minnesota's been fairly successful against the zone.
And Minnesota's been more successful hanging on to the ball here in game number 3 after 24 turnovers in game 2. That's just their 4th of the night.
Well, it is just a 7-point game. I mean, I don't think LA wants Minnesota to hang around in this game. They do not want it to be close.
Mabika needs to call a 20-second timeout, harassed over there in front of the Minnesota bench.
And I've watched Minnesota play quite a bit this year, and I have to tell you something. They are playing with a defensive intensity that I have not seen all year long. I mean, they know it's do or die, and then they know they're going to have to come out and play their A game at both ends of the floor in order to beat a team like LA, who's a 2-time defending champion, who's got has all these all-stars and extraordinary players, and they're playing their hearts out.
So Minnesota should take some solace in the fact that they are shooting 31% from the field, but still within striking distance. Meanwhile, Katie Smith was asked before the game what Minnesota needed to do to shock the defending champs.
Come out and play our game, focus on our adjustments that we've made defensively and offensively, plus mental mistakes, whether it's turnovers, getting back on defense, not allowing them to get easy transition buckets, but definitely just taking care of our end and basically things that we control.
We We talked about Katie maybe needing to be more selfish here in Game 3. She's only taken 4 shots here in the first half.
But Katie has been assertive out there, and she really hasn't had a whole lot of open looks as of yet. But what she's done is she's put the ball on the floor, attracted double teams when she's penetrated, and she's found the open people outside. Now, they haven't hit all of their shots, but I like the way she's coming out and playing. She's not just passing it around the horn and trying to get everybody involved. She's attacking LA.
You're right, we talked about the ambush on Lisa Leslie, but Katie has seen it from her perspective on those drives to the basket.
Well, it's interesting to watch these two teams because LA is a team that plays an inside to outside game, going to Lisa Leslie and kicking it out. And Minnesota's a team that plays the total opposite. They play an outside to inside game, looking for Katie Smith to create something outside and then going inside when the other players become open.
And for those of you watching us on Fox Sports North, at halftime, we will have a conversation with Teresa Edwards, the Lynx standout. And for those of you watching us on NBA TV, we'll be going to our studios where Mark Morgan and Jennifer Azzi are standing by. Quickly into Leslie, faces up on Van Gorp, forces her into the miss. Dixon now fouled inside by Harrowin.
And that's a nice job by Dixon right there. She has a size advantage over Christy Harrower. And when Lisa put that shot up, it was contested by Michelle Van Gorp, and Dixon just did a nice job of pushing Harrower underneath the basket.
One of those unsung stars, too, in Los Angeles, loaded with talent, but you talked about the importance of Tamika Dixon here.
Well, Dixon, I think, has been really key, especially in this series against Minnesota. She stepped up and hit big shot after big shot, and she's shooting really, really well in the series. Just to show you what respect Minnesota has for Tamika Dixon, they started the night with Katie Smith on her, and Katie Smith is their best defender, so they know how good Tamika Dixon is and what kind of damage she can do.
And she did some damage defensively in Game 2, coming up with 6 steals, along with the 17 points. With a 9-point lead during the 2-minute mark of the first half.
I think Minnesota right now would like to get a bucket, get a stop, keep this game close, keep it a single-digit game for sure.
Mafika has been glued onto Katie Smith, and now double team, nowhere to go. Tamika Williams coughs it up. Free on the floor, Edwards comes away with it.
What a play right there. That is amazing. Did you see Teresa Edwards look at the half-court line and make sure Michelle Van Gorp was over it before she passed it?
39 years young. Doesn't like to talk much about her age either, does she? Abrosimova inside, and then thrown to the floor by Milton. Actually had her arms tangled up. Abrosimova credited with the hoop.
And those are things that Svet has to do, and something that Minnesota needed at that moment. They need to now come back, play a good defensive series.
Milton, too easy.
I guess that wasn't a good defensive series, so was it? That was too easy.
Milton now with a dozen, along with 5 boards and 3 assists. She's leading all scores. Leslie has 9. Van Gorp turns, fires, and fouled in the process. And there indeed is now the 3rd personal on Leslie.
Minnesota continuing to look inside. Svetlana Abrosimova, the last play, and on this play, Van Gorp did a really nice job of just flashing to the middle, turning to where Lisa is, and Lisa just gets her on the arm. LA has really picked up their defense right now, and when you start picking up your defensive intensity, things start going faster, and I think Lisa just kind of got caught off guard by Michelle taking that shot, and once again has to sit down on the bench.
Replaced by Jennifer Gillum.
Minnesota has been extremely successful with getting LA players into foul trouble in this series. I mean, they've taken advantage of every one-on-one situation, and you know, Milton's had to sit out at times, Leslie quite a few times, even Dixon.
LA able to break the press. Milton gets to the free throw stripe, now kicks it back out to Keasley. Under a minute to play here in the first half.
It becomes an entirely different game with Lisa Leslie out of the game. It becomes much more of a perimeter game. And you need people like Moati Mabika to do things like that and step up and make us play.
She banks it in off the leader, and then Jen Gillen taps it away. Here comes Tamika Dixon on the runaway. .8 seconds to go until halftime. Susie McConnell-Serio doesn't want to see this game go south on her in the final stages of the half, so she calls a timeout.
Well, she wants to get control of the team right now. I mean, these are the kind of turnovers that you should look at. Teresa Edwards just not seeing the defense, Jennifer Gillum getting a hand on it, and when that kind of thing happens, it's off to the races for Los Angeles. Tamika Dixon pushing the ball hard, and there's really nothing you can do at this point. That's why it's so important to take care of the basketball against this LA defense.
And credit the sweet feed, too, by Nikki Teasley, who led Dixon all the way to the hoop. Teasley now has registered 6 assists in the first half.
Well, in Minnesota, I mean, I can guarantee Susie McConnell-Serio sitting there trying to figure out something to do here on this last play, but frustrated with, again, the fact that they're digging themselves into a hole. It's now a 12-point lead for LA, and the one thing Minnesota doesn't want to have to do is have to do what they've done in the first 2 games, which is come back from a huge deficit to try to pull the game out at the last second. They want this game to be close throughout the game, and they know they might have a chance then. Now, granted, they might be able to come back from a huge deficit, but it's not where you want to be on a consistent basis with a championship team like LA.
It really is a momentum timeout because Susie McConnell-Serio now just going over to talk to her players. She called that just to try to stem the tide.
Well, she called it, I think, to stem the tide, and then she called it to set up a set play here for the last 30 seconds. I'm sure they'll probably hold the ball, try to get one shot, run a set offense. Let's see what LA comes out and plays against them. It'll be interesting to see how this play goes. Hopefully, I'm sure Susie wants it to go her way, and hopefully Minnesota would go into the half 10, only down by 10 or down by 9. But I'm sure Michael Cooper and the LA Sparks have something to say about that.
So casually bringing up into the front court, Teresa Edwards. And Minnesota will indeed try to go for that final shot of the first half. LA's biggest lead has been 13. Right now, sitting on a 12-point advantage, 10 seconds to go. Katie Smith working on Mabika off of Van Gorp pick. Gets to the free throw line, hangs, can't hit. And the time will run out here in the first half. Minnesota trailing here at halftime. They trailed by 17 at the break in game 1. They trailed by 10 at halftime in game 2. Right now, it's a 12-point lead for the Sparks at the break. Another championship meltdown. Of course, the LA Lakers had won 3 in a row, 3 NBA titles before they were ousted from the NBA playoffs. And LA Sparks, having won the last 2 WNBA championships, trying to make it 3 in a row, but needing to secure this decisive game 3. The series tied at 1 apiece, and Nikki Teasley pulling the ball. And the start of the second half.
One small change for Minnesota. Van Gorp in the lineup and making her presence felt immediately.
Second block now for Van Gorp. And LA winds up shooting 50% from the field. Quite a bit of that can be attributed to their transition offense, getting back quickly and getting some easy hoops. Tamika Dixon with the first hoop of the second half.
And you'd like to say that was an easy hoop, but it was not. She's so effective with that little one dribble pull up to the middle of the floor. Minnesota's got to continue to play aggressive at the defensive end.
Check that offensive foul inside, and it's on Michelle Van Gorp.
Gorp trying to post up strong. I know Susie's sitting over there just saying, something go our way, please. A lot of this has to do with the fact that you're playing against LA. It's tough for things to go your way when you're playing against a team that's so strong.
Teasley, kick it over to Dixon. That would have been a 2-ball, and here comes Teresa Edwards. Full head of steam. Gets it over to Tamika Williams. First hoop of the night.
And Tamika's been very, very quiet. I don't think she's used to having people run at her.
Another one of those 50 feeds from Teasley.
Well, that's where you have to get back on defense, and it's unbelievable how much the LA centers and forwards are running the floor today, trying to take advantage of some easy buckets. And Nikki Teasley's done a fabulous job of finding the open people. Here you see Michelle Van Gorp just not getting back on defense, and I don't know, I might have just let her have that, but not given her the end one in that situation.
2 quick personal fouls on Van Gorp, one on the offensive end, and then there against Leslie, who now has reached double figures. Lisa has 11 so far.
And Minnesota taking Michelle Van Gorp out of the game and going with their smaller lineup. Again, going with that 4-guard lineup. Cherie Sam, Teresa Edwards, Katie Smith, Svetlana Brosamova, all in there. And then Tamika Williams, who's really a 4-player playing at the 5 position. And this lineup has given LA a lot of problems.
3-point play, polished off by Leslie. Edwards. Brosamova off balance, but somehow Cherie Sam corrals it, and now back into the corner of Brosamova. Harassed there by Dixon. Inside Williams, back-to-back buckets by Williams for the Lynx.
And good patience offensively, kicking the ball around the corner, just finding Williams.
Tamika averaged 16.5 points a game in the first 2 of this series. She now has 4 here early in the second half. Milton faced up on Smith, stays right on her. Elbow by Milton, and now it's Teasley. 10 on the shot clock. Leslie spins left, spins right, and goes to So Leslie, 5 quick points for LA. She now has 14 on the evening. Sam's pass, tip, and now it's Edwards for 3. Katie Smith with the O board and a fresh 30.
And this lineup gives LA a lot of difficulty because of the fact that they're hard to guard. Delisha Milton has to come out and guard Katie Smith on the perimeter. They have to make decisions.
Brosamova, oh, that was a sweet dish there to Williams, who now has 3 buckets here in the first 2 minutes of the second half.
But that open floor allows those kind of penetrations and passes to happen.
Leslie gets past Williams. Her pass goes tipped. And now it's Edwards into the attacking zone. Up ahead,
wow.
Williams.
Oh my goodness.
Here in the first 2.5 minutes.
And that was just an incredible pass right there. First finding Tamika with her head up. Talk about threading the needle.
So LA ran out to a 15-point advantage, but now it's chiseled down to 11 thanks to Tamika Williams coming alive in the second half.
Well, look at this pass. Look at Teresa Edwards. She wants to push it, then finds Tamika Williams on the break. That was a pinpoint pass. You can't appreciate it. Maybe from this angle you can appreciate it. Through Lisa Leslie's hands, through Moati Mabika's hands, and into Tamika Williams' hands. I gotta tell you, I mean, Michelle Van Gorp fouled Lisa Leslie, made a mistake possibly, ended up going and sitting on the bench and forcing Susan McConnell-Serio to a smaller lineup. But this small lineup for Minnesota has been so effective against LA. It gives them so much trouble.
That's a Big Daddy with the old Austin Carr retro jersey.
I'm just glad he doesn't have a jersey on. He might pretend to go in.
Quickly, LA with the lob pass to Tamika Dixon. And the lead is back to 13. We saw Derek Fisher entertaining the crowd at halftime. Tracy Murray on hand, and now Shaquille O'Neal watching game 3. Tracy Smith, straight but strong, and there's Tamika Williams, 4th in the league in offensive rebounding.
Tamika Williams coming out in the second half and really stepping her game up. She played like this, like she's playing right this second in the first 2 games, and I think Minnesota really needs number 20 to come out and contribute on the offensive boards and inside.
On the putback, it's Katie Smith. Nobody put a body on Katie, and she bangs the offensive boards. The lead is back down to 11.
Svetlana continues to just harass Teasley, not trying to take her vision away, trying to take some time off the shot clock and not let LA get into that offense where Lisa Leslie's down low.
Dixon in a crowd, loses it, gets it back herself, and then the blind shot nearly fell. Edwards up ahead, overthrows Brosamova, goes flying into the front row, and back comes LA. Leslie pumps, shoots, scores, and then took it to the line for Lisa Leslie.
And that's a shame. Those are those opportunities that we continue to talk about. Minnesota at one end turning the ball over, and LA at the other end able to keep their composure, make good passes, and finish plays off. That's the difference in today's game. The team that's able to stay out there and make plays.
Timeout with 15:54 to go here in the second half. Lisa Leslie here early in the second half with 7 points. She'll be at the line when we come back. Of inches, even in basketball. If this pass is caught by Abrosimova, the lead's 9.
It is, and it's unfortunate because Minnesota was gaining some momentum. They had a couple of great defensive plays, but Svet saves this ball. LA ends up going on a fast break towards the other end. And Lisa Leslie is just such a great finisher when she gets that close to the basket. It is a game of inches.
Leslie now has 8 here in the second half, 17 for the game.
And we talked earlier about the fact that this time of the year it's all about effort and execution. Both teams playing very, very hard, but I think that LA is just able to execute more often.
Abrosimova for 3, absolutely.
But Minnesota executed that time out.
Abrosimova sticks it from the corner. She now has 8. Again, just 1 of 2 from the field in game number 2 for Abrosimova. Teasing Abrosimova, then blows right past her.
I think the Tinsley's got to do that. If Savannah's going to come up into her face that strong at the half court, she's just got to go right by her like that every single time.
Last time Teasley had the ball, she got the step and then pulled it back. She set up and baited Abrosimova on that one. Abrosimova, scoop shot, too strong, and Leslie with the rebound, but jerked away from behind by Abrosimova. Here comes Malvika, though, for the Sparks. She'll pull it back. Dixon charges forward, and now zigzags out on the perimeter.
Cooper's up off his feet. It's rare that you see Michael Cooper standing up in the middle of the game, but he knows how important it is right now for LA to keep their composure under this Minnesota pressure.
Williams with a hand on Teasley, nearly jarred it loose. It's Leslie, 2 on the shot clock, 1 on the shot clock. Milton lets it fly, and coming up with the board is Williams. Up ahead, Cherie Sam hits the accelerator and scores.
Again, the small lineup, I think it just hurts LA so much because they're good at rebounding, they box out very well, they play defense, and they run.
6th assist now for Teresa Edwards, who set up Sam on that last bucket, cutting the lead to 11. Oh, the shot by Katie Smith, who then took a blow to the noggin from Leslie.
And Lisa Leslie, I think, is a bit frustrated right now. She's been, Minnesota's being very aggressive on her, and there's been a couple of times at both ends of the floor where she's felt like she's been fouled.
The two were Olympic teammates and have the utmost respect for each other. That doesn't mean they're going to cut each other any slack on the floor. Leslie right over the top of Tamika Williams. Seen that time and time again, and Leslie now has racked up 19 points.
Well, Minnesota's got to make some type of adjustment. They can't just let her shoot over Tamika Williams.
And Tamika Williams with her 5th bucket of the second half. Delay of game warning against Minnesota. That's one way to stall the fast break for Los Angeles.
Well, the other thing Minnesota continues to do is pressure Teasley. They're trying to take some time off the shot clock, not let LA get set up in their half-court offense until maybe 20 seconds or 15 seconds or less.
Tamika Williams, 10 points in the first 6.5 minutes of this second half. Malvika takes past Edwards. Ball knocked loose by Katie Smith. 5 on the shot clock to Milton. Milton harassed. Fires up a crazy shot and rebounded by Williams.
And a great box out by Williams.
Edwards whips it good over to Katie Smith. Straight but strong on the air ball. And then a tussle underneath the hoop. Minnesota comes away with it.
Savannah Abrosimova is just going hard to the board, working very, very hard. It stripped the ball twice from LA players.
Cherie Sam cut off on the baseline. Inside, ball knocked loose. And Milton throws an elbow, sends Cherie Sam down.
And just great pressure by Cherie Sam. I mean, Delisha Milton has this MO. She gets, wow, did they call the foul? Yeah, okay. It's amazingly physical, and the scuffle, Milton gives her a little shot there, and then she just, you know, from this angle, it looked worse. From that angle, it didn't look quite so bad. From this angle, it looked like Delisha Milton really pushed off with her left arm when she was underneath the basket. But from the under the basket angle, it looked pretty innocent. Although using the word innocent with Delisha Milton, I don't know if that's appropriate. I mean, everybody calls her Sunshine, but her other nickname is D Nasty, and there's a reason for that.
Lisa Leslie comes in, swats it away, but not before Cherie Sam was hacked and will go to the line.
I think you're seeing why Minnesota is such a tough team to play, why there's so much respect for Minnesota from the LA side of things. I mean, they're a team that never says die. They're a classic underdog. They go out there and play hard, and they're really hard to match up against because they have so many threats like Cherie Sam. I mean, people forget that Cherie Sam was an all-star at Miami last year. She's coming off the bench for Minnesota this year. You know, players like Abrosimova, Teresa Edwards with such a great history and so decorated. They are a serious threat to come back into any game. And now, can LA keep their composure? That's the question.
Home court press applied by Minnesota. Look at Tamika Williams chasing down Leslie. Down to the capable hands of Teasley. Kick it over to Mapika. It's Leslie from the left elbow. And rebounded there by Abrosimova. Quickly ahead and pulled from behind by Teasley.
And one more time where Minnesota does a great job defensively and makes LA take a shot that possibly they don't want to take. Lisa Leslie, it's not that she can't hit that shot. It's just not the shot that they probably wanted at that moment with Minnesota in such great rebounding position. And I don't blame Teasley for fouling it. Minnesota's running the ball very well.
The lead is 9. Katie Smith with the left hand. Oh, pretty move, wouldn't fall.
Great hustle again by Svetlana.
4 players on the floor. And a serious melee. Nobody willing to give up the basketball. Like a Vikings game. They think that whoever holds it last with possession. That's not how it works, though.
Minnesota's playing extremely hard right now. I mean, you can see it in their eyes, on their faces. LA's got to continue to match that intensity. This is where Coach Cooper talks continually about the fact that LA needs to have that killer instinct. They need to come out and play like a championship team with a championship mentality and go after it for 40 minutes. No letting down.
Quick control by Leslie. Again, a game of injury. That Katie Smith drive with left hand. If it falls, the lead is 7. It's saved by Cherie Sam. And look at Edwards with that court vision. Bringing it up the floor, always looking ahead. Abrosimova, cross-court Edwards. Thinks about the three, drives, throws it up, and thrown out by Lisa Leslie.
And again, LA starting their offense with only 15 seconds left on the shot clock. They're not used to that.
It's Katie Smith against Leslie, who goes cross-court, kicks it for 2. Tamika Dixon drills it.
3 times as Tamika Dixon hit those big shots for LA off of a kick out by Lisa Leslie.
Dixon in double figures. She has a dozen. We go along with Milton's 12. And Leslie's 19. Abrosimova losing her footing. Katie Smith for 3. And Mapika with the rebound. Mapika right down Main Street.
That was an impressive move. I think right now Minnesota might be a little bit tired. They put a lot of effort into this game at the moment, and they might need a little bit of a rest.
The LA Sparks is so lethal. Nearly every one of their players can grab that rebound and lead the fast break. Edwards for 3, comes up short, and Mapika with the board.
I think that was just a little bit too quick of a shot by Teresa Edwards right there.
LA shooting over 50% from the field. Mapika too strong off the glass, and Cherie Sam has it for Minnesota. Edwards, oh, she sets up Tamika Williams with a beauty.
Very, very nice look. And this is what we saw in the second half against in Minnesota in the first game. I mean, LA's just not communicating. I mean, Dixon almost got knocked in the side of the head with that pass right there. And LA called a timeout.
Andrea, both teams are very winded right now. Both teams exerting quite a bit of energy here in the first 10 minutes of the second half. And it's not just Minnesota, it's LA as well.
Well, Minnesota, both of these teams actually pushing the tempo. And at this moment, both of them are struggling to get back on defense, and so they're getting some easy shots. Edwards right there finding Tamika Dixon for an easy shot. But the one thing that LA doesn't want to have happen right now is what's happening. You know, Minnesota's coming out, putting a lot of pressure on them, taking them out of their comfort zones. I mean, LA's used to playing in their rhythm, being in their comfort zone. Minnesota's game plan, take them out of their comfort zone, take them out of their rhythm, and make them turn the ball over. And we talked about composure. Here, I'm sure that Coach Cooper was over there saying, you guys, composure, take care of the ball. We know what to do with it. Slow down. Let's play our game.
Meanwhile, Minnesota has to like their chances. They are still within striking distance, down 9. And they trailed by 21, made the biggest comeback in WNBA playoff history in Game 1. Trailed by as many as 22 in Game 2 as LA turns it over.
And that's just an unnecessary turnover right there by Nikki Teasley.
Turnover number 10 for the LA Sparks. When we come back, Minnesota. Lead is 11 for the Sparks. 9:55 to go here in the second half.
I'll tell you what, there is a lot of time left in this game. 9:55 is an eternity, especially when you're playing at this pace. And especially when, guess what, Michael Cooper has said he's playing his players for 40 minutes. Now, they may not be playing for 40 minutes, but I doubt they're coming out of this game until it's way, way won. And I don't know if that's going to happen.
For a minute off the bench for LA. Mabika with the rebound and a loose ball foul on Moati Mabika.
And I'm not quite sure about that call right there. Tamika Williams going up for this board with Moati Mabika. Oh, yes, she did come over into her.
Tamika Williams has 7 rebounds to go along with her 12 points, all scored here in the second half. Christy Harrower in there now for the Lynx. Katie Smith cutting, but the pass bounces off her knee into the hands of Mabika. Turnover number 10 for Minnesota.
And this is one of those crucial times right here. I mean, the last 9 minutes, Minnesota needs to take care of the basketball. They can't have silly turnovers like that.
10 on the shot clock now for Mabika.
And I guess what LA's going to do, I mean, they're going to continue to look inside.
Leslie tries to save it. Ball still rolling and picked up by Williams. Katie Smith, quick fire inside of Brosamova. For some reason, she has second thoughts as she goes down hard. Mabika sends a Brosamova flying underneath the bucket.
This is just amazing how physical this is. Beck should have just gone straight up with the basketball, but she goes after it, tries to get her own rebound. And both of them going flying to the floor. A jump ball called.
Boy, a Brosamova pile driven to the floor. And it's a jump ball between the two.
I'd hate to see what a foul looks like.
Man, if that's an indication of what's to come here in the final 8:41. Stay tuned. They'll re-jump it.
Well, it's going to get even more heated, I think, here in the last 8 minutes. I mean, this is it. I got to tell you, what do the Lynx have to lose? I mean, they need to come out and just play hard. LA has a lot more to lose than the Lynx do right now. And so you're going to see a very, very competitive 8 minutes and 41 seconds.
That tip controlled by Leslie and the Sparks, using the final period. They're giving the referee an earful during that break in action. Not happy to see her starter thrown to the floor as Three Sam trying to open the three from Teasley picked up the personal.
Again, Sam, Brosamova, all of the guards that are guarding Teasley, trying to just get in her shorts and hassle her all night long.
4th team foul for Minnesota. Teasley plays so much confidence and cockiness.
She's got such great ball handling skills and court vision.
Dixon, Milton, now it's Mabika, shut off there by Brosamova. Still plenty of time on the shot clock at the 10. Pass tipped and stolen away by Tamika Williams. Up ahead is Katie Smith. Katie, hesitation move on Milton, draws the foul, and she will head to the line.
And that's Katie Smith. Katie Smith can do that for 40 minutes. I mean, you really haven't seen it. Tamika Williams getting her hand on the ball. Just another turnover by LA, but Katie Smith coming down the floor. And her explosiveness and her power. I mean, most players, when they get bumped like Katie did on that last play, would have not even gotten a shot off. Katie manages to finish and make the shot.
And the lead is down to 8 after the three-point play. Stolen away to Brosamova. But it's 3 on the floor. Tamika Dixon off the hustle play by Mabika. It appeared Minnesota would come away with it. Teasley, long distance for 3. And she drills it.
That is huge.
2 steps behind the line for Teasley. She was 3rd in the league in three-point shooting percentage during the course of the regular season. And quickly the lead is back to 11. Brosamova, 2 steps behind the line, unable to match Teasley. Here comes LA on the run. Teasley, throws the lay in, and a foul inside against Minnesota.
There's some pretty exciting basketball going on out here. I love to watch Nikki Teasley in the open floor. She's got great handles.
Nikki Teasley showcasing her ball handling and her long range. Back here at the Staples Center, the winner moves on to the Western Conference Finals to take on either the Comets or the Monarchs, who will meet tomorrow in their own Game 3. That series tied as well at 1 game apiece. Western Conference Finals will begin on Friday.
Minnesota going to a 2-3 zone right now, switching things up, seeing if they can disrupt LA. Been disrupting pretty well man-to-man, though.
Teasley behind the line. Lisa Leslie with the offensive rebound, but knocked out of there by Katie Smith, and a foul on Katie Smith.
And that's what happens. I mean, Minnesota's been successful with their full court press. They tried to come out after that timeout into a 2-3 zone, but what ends up happening is it's more difficult to box out, and when you have Milton and Leslie inside and just a player like Katie Smith and Tamika Williams on the other side of the game, very, very difficult to keep them off the offensive boards, and Minnesota back to man-to-man.
Lynx 2 away from the penalty situation after their 16 foul. Leslie turns, misfires from the baseline. Louis clears it to Edwards. She finds Tamika Williams to the rim and in.
Boy, she has a knack for giving the ball to the right person at the right time, and that's what great point guards do.
9-point lead, Leslie inside, and she'll head to the strike.
Here you see Teresa Edwards, ball in hand. Just, again, finding Tamika Williams, who's streaking down the left-hand side of the floor.
Edwards picking up her 8th assist to go along with her 6 points. Meanwhile, Lisa Leslie and her 19 points at the line.
Lisa's not really a very good free throw shooter, so you don't really mind having her at the line. She struggles from the line.
One of 2 for Leslie, who now has 20 points.
Minnesota staying with this small lineup, making the defense spread out for LA. If you look how much open room there is in the key.
Harrower, the Arch Deluxe. Give it to her. Christy Harrower for 3.
And that's what happens. You open up the lane, one person penetrates, you have to help onto that person that's driving to the basket, and it leaves somebody like Christy Harrower wide open.
Second hoop of the game for Harrower, who is scoreless in game 2. Edwards going for the pick. Dixon frees up, but Cherie Sand gets a hand in the face. Follow shot. Mwati Mabika.
And that's a big offensive board right there from Mwati Mabika. Oh, he's doing a lot of standing around offensively and dribbling the ball. Minnesota's running great offense on the other side.
Sand knocked away by Teasley. And inside, Katie Smith battling for position with Milton, who picks up the personal. That is now the 15th foul on LA.
It's a lot of fun to watch Katie Smith and Delisha Milton go at it. They're heating up in the Staples Center, and if you put Felicia Milton and Katie Smith together, they heat up even more.
Katie Smith now, right in the face of Dixon, down the lane. Sam can't get it over to Harrower. Now finds Tamika Williams. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Williams backing down on Leslie, who got a piece of it. And now they say Tamika Williams is standing out of bounds.
Tamika trying to save the ball, thinking she might have been inbound, throws it back into the face. You see Tamika offensive rebound, trying to save it, and ends up throwing it back in the face of Mwadi Mabika. Certainly not intentional. Just trying to make a heads-up play. But that hurt. Not a heads-up play,
Meanwhile, you can see Tamika's left foot was on the baseline, and thus the out-of-bounds violation. And now violation against Los Angeles. Lisa Leslie running the baseline, called for the violation, and they'll give it back to Minnesota.
Well, on a made basket, you're allowed to run the baseline. I mean, look at Cooper. He's just going, oh my gosh, what else can we do that's so silly? I mean, on a set out-of-bounds play like that last one, you can't move. It's just like having the ball. You have to have a pivot foot. You have to stay in your position. Don't know what Lisa was thinking. Obviously not thinking.
5 minutes to go. Minnesota down 9. Katie Smith fakes, hangs off the glass, rebounded by Williams, and she pulls it out. Then Minnesota make a run, not if they pop up turnovers like that.
Well, and they work so hard at the defensive end. Tamika gets on the offensive boards, gets some tough rebounds offensively, and to turn the ball over after that.
Whipped inside the lane. The dish from Nikki Teasley. And now Edwards, quickly, Williams. And she is fouled. Tamika Williams has come alive in a big way here in the second half. All 14 of her points here in the second half.
Well, I think Tamika was a bit, not surprised in the first half, but LA came out and they respect Tamika. I mean, they've been surprised by Tamika's production. So they've been double teaming or triple teaming her every time she gets the ball, and that's not something that Tamika Williams usually has happen. So I think she's kind of figured out how to pick and choose her spots here in the second half, and has been able to contribute significantly.
She was 0 of 3 from the field in the first half, 7 of 8 from the floor in the second. Loose ball foul, Katie Smith. And for Katie, that is number 3. Katie right now with 9 points, 4 of 12 from the field.
Minnesota, there's 4 minutes and 21 seconds right now. Minnesota's down by 10. I mean, they're still in this game, obviously. They're in any game with the way they play, but I think they need to do a couple of things right now. They need to continue to attack offensively, and they've got to find a way to stop Lisa Leslie at the other end, and they can't let LA shoot a lot of free throws right now. I mean, LA's in the bonus. Every foul now, LA goes to the free throw line.
LA, the second best free throw shooting team in the league during the course of the regular season, but Milton misses the first. Of 2 for Milton, and it's still Minnesota within striking distance. Cherie Sam eradicated by Mwadi Mabika.
And Mwadi Mabika gave her a little bit of a stare down right there after she blocked her shot. Great feed here by Teresa Edwards, again threading the needle. And Mwadi just was strong. Good timing right there by Mwadi Mabika.
Still a lot of jawing going on. After the play, Teresa Edwards lines up the 3. Mabika in the tussle with Katie Smith, and more words are exchanged. Minnesota will not go down without a fight. You knew that at the outset of game 1.
Well, what's been really impressive right now, I think, on Minnesota's behalf, is that they're hitting the offensive boards really, really hard, and they're going after. They're not just making a little bit of an effort. I mean, they're going after the basketball, and I think they're just taking LA by surprise. LA needs to match the intensity at both ends of the floor.
Mabika controls the tip. Into the capable hands of Teasley. 10-point lead for LA. Dixon into the lane, off the glass. Tapped in, or owned it. Tamika Dixon.
Big bucket by Tamika, just being aggressive offensively and sticking with it. That's the intensity they need.
Last time LA was in a Game 3, a decisive Game 3, they blew out Sacramento by 32. Minnesota has stayed close throughout, and Tamika Williams drawing the foul on Beasley reached in. But they're going to call Lisa Leslie on the personal. That's number 4 on Leslie. 3:26 to go. Teresa Edwards, she is not thinking about the future and whether or not she will return to play for the Lynx next season before tonight's game. All she was focused on was upending this Los Angeles team.
Well, and I guarantee you right now, Teresa Edwards is only thinking about the next 3 minutes and 26 seconds, finding a way to get her team somewhere close to LA. Again, they're in the game. There's still time left. Minnesota's shooting the ball. But they got to do the little things. They got to knock down their free throws. They got to get a couple of quick baskets. They've got to shut LA down at the other end, which is not easy.
And the scintillating second half continues for Tamika Williams. 17 points here in the second half, after again being held scoreless in the first 20 minutes. Beasley knocked loose by Edwards. Off of Beasley, Minnesota ball.
Well, and again, Minnesota is continuing their pressure, and I think LA is just being complacent. I don't really understand why Nikki Beasley is trying to dribble the ball up with 2 Minnesota defenders on her. Make an easy pass the ball up the court, get into your offense.
Little things by Teresa Edwards. It was her kick of the ball out of bounds that set up that game-winning play in Game 1. Inside Leslie, denies Williams, and now we're going to have a jump ball.
Lisa Leslie's just done a fabulous job on Tamika Williams inside, and you think, oh yeah, I mean, Lisa Leslie's 6'5", Tamika Williams is about 6'1". She says she's 6'2", I think, but she's not. And but Lisa's done a fabulous job. Williams has really hurt them, and Lisa's come out and contested every shot, got her hands on pretty much every shot.
And Tamika Williams won that pass, now has it back. Double team help from Mabika. Williams finds Cherie Sands. 8 seconds, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Katie Smith pulls up, fires straight but strong. Rebounded by Dixon. Mabika was right there defensively on Katie Smith. Katie now 4 of 13 from the floor.
I guarantee you LA is going to go to their inside game right now. Look for Lisa Leslie down low.
It's Milton, and she'll go to the line. So, again, Minnesota just unable to sustain any sort of a run. They get the steal off the play by Edwards, can't convert at the other end, and now it's turning into a march to the free throw line for Los Angeles.
Well, they just really can't slow LA's inside game down. I mean, the only way they can slow it down is either to get people in foul trouble and get them on the bench, or force them into turnovers in the backcourt. LA's doing a spotty job, but a fairly good job of getting the ball down the court and into the hands of Delisha Milton and Lisa Leslie, who have the advantage inside.
Milton is allowing Minnesota to hang around in this. Milton has missed all 3 of her free throw attempts.
Michelle Bainbrook on the sideline, saying a little prayer, possibly.
1 of 2 from Milton, who shot 80% from the line during the regular season. Minnesota scoreless over the last 3:40.
And that's LA defense as well. I mean, we don't talk about LA's defense as much as we should.
Edwards, all sorts of trouble in the corner, and now sends Milton down with the elbow and calls for the foul. We have seen some bruising activity here in the second half by both teams.
Well, and I think Teresa Edwards knew it was foul. You just can't lead with your elbow when you're in a situation like that.
And Lennox Lewis, shot to the shot. But Milton bounced right back up. Mabika, 15-footer straight away. Wouldn't drop it. Now here comes Katie Smith. Bounce pass ahead to Edwards. Edwards, in a hurry, loses it out of bounds. Stripped by Beasley, but it went off of Edwards' knee. At least so says the official.
You know, it's probably a pretty good call. I think the official was right there. But again, we talk about LA's defense. LA is stepping it up defensively right now and doing what they need to do to win this basketball game.
Still holding on to that 11-point lead. We're under 2 minutes to play. Edwards harassing Teasley, diving for it. They both hit the floor, and an offensive foul on Teasley.
Boy, is that a battle of the young and the old right there? Nikki Teasley, just a young superstar in this league. And Teresa Edwards at 39 going at her, making things happen.
The All-Star MVP, the 5-time Olympian. Buzzer goes off. Cherie Sam hits the baseline jumper. This is going to be very interesting to see if they give her the bucket.
I hate to commit to this early, but I think it should count. I don't think the play stops until the official blows their whistle.
Sally Bell is over there wondering why the official score sounded the horn. Susie McConnell-Stereo wants to know if Sam's bucket counts.
You rarely see Susie really upset, but she's just as into this game as her players are.
They will send Teresa Edwards to the line. No bucket for Cherie Sam.
This is very interesting. I wish I could tell you what was going on because I should know what's going on, but I don't know what's going on. And really, Cherie Sam's bucket, I think, should have counted. They should have gone the other way.
But justice prevails, and Teasley then boxes out Edwards following the free throw, and Edwards hits the one.
That wasn't a box shot. That was a body slam to the ground.
And look at Edwards chasing down Mabika. You can still see the determination in the eyes of the Lynx. Trailing by 9, stripped away by Edwards. Pulls back, fires from 14, rims out. And Tamika Dixon comes away with it.
And that would have been a huge basket.
And now Minnesota will be forced to foul Los Angeles. LA spreads out their offense. And now here comes that battle again between Edwards and Teasley. It's Mabika, free throw line, fade away. Moani Mabika. Down it goes, and up goes the lead to 12. Final minute. Minnesota pushing it down the floor, and a timeout on the floor. Susie McConnell-Stereo telling her troops she had been trying to call that timeout from the bench. 47.9 seconds to go. Mabika and the Sparks trying to finish off Minnesota after losing game number 1. Taking game 2. And it's Mabika from the right elbow. Malati now with 12 points. One of the 5 LA starters in double figures. Beautiful straight elbow and nothing but net from Mabika. Leading the way is Leslie. She has 22 to go along with 7 rebounds. And joining her in double figures, Teasley, Dixon, Mabika, and Milton. Nothing off the LA bench. Not a single point. But that was expected by Michael Cooper. Don't forget, Timberwolves fans, half-season ticket packages are available. Lower level seating at the Target Center. And all you have to do is call 612-337-DUNK, extension number 1. Ought to be an exciting season upcoming for Minnesota. Adding Ola Wakandi, Latrell Sprewell, Sam Cassell to the mix. Go along with Wally and Kevin Garnett.
You know, Tom, this has to be just a very difficult thing to handle right now with Minnesota down by 11. I mean, they have played their heart out in this game, and they have to be very proud of their effort. I don't think anybody really expected them to make the playoffs this year. And granted, there's 47 seconds left in the game. Anything could happen. But I think you see on the looks on everybody's faces with Katie Smith's face just a moment ago that they recognize that they're probably not going to come away with a win tonight. But they have nothing to be ashamed of. They played their hearts out.
First ever playoff appearance by this Minnesota Lynx squad. 5 years in the WNBA. They never allowed LA really to run away with this one, but the Sparks maintained a comfortable advantage throughout, pretty much hanging on to an 8 to 12 point lead throughout much of the second half. Their biggest lead has been 15. Sam driving baseline, opens up the back door and drops. 43 seconds left and the quick foul there issued by Sam. And Beasley will head back down the other end of the court for a pair. Both teams in the penalty situation. So at one time it appeared Nikki Beasley might have been lost for the series for Michael Cooper. Yeah, you would think just by looking at Cooper's face that his team was on the downside of that scoreboard. He has greater expectations for this LA team. And when we talked to him before the game, he said his squad is not playing like a championship team. They just have not had the killer instinct that they've had in their past 2 title runs.
Well, they've certainly shown moments of it. I think they've come out here in the last couple of minutes and they have looked fairly good, but they have had moments where they've had lapses, and I don't think Coach Cooper likes that. He wants his team to come out and play with a championship mentality, very, very focused for 40 minutes. He really believes that's what you need in order to win when it comes playoff time.
So if LA does hang on here, they will begin the Western Conference Finals on Friday. They are the #1 seed in the Western Conference. Best record in the West. Detroit finished out with the best record in the league at 25-9. LA 24-10. So they will own that home court advantage during the Western Conference Finals if they hang on here.
And I think
so if LA does hang on here, they will begin the Western Conference Finals on Friday. They are the #1 seed in the Western Conference. Best record in the West. Detroit finished out with the best record in the league at 25-9. LA 24-10. So they will own that home court advantage during the Western Conference Finals if they hang on here.
And I think that if we hang on here is important, not necessarily because the odds are in favor of the Lynx coming back, but simply because, again, this is a team that won't give up. I mean, they're probably, Coach Serio is on the sideline setting up plays, trying to find ways to score, and I'm sure they'll continue to foul until the time runs out on the clock.
LA 9 of 14 from the free throw line thus far. Sheree Sam double team, gets it over to Tamika Williams. Terror in the corner, Katie Smith, that's a 2. Sam with the rebound, and then away from the ball, going down is Tamika Williams, and she will be headed to the line. Delisha Milton with the personal. So Tamika Williams, 17 points in the second half. Trying single-handedly to give this Minnesota team a shot. But the first free toss wide left. She misses them both. And then again, it's Katie Smith mixed up with Milton. She takes another shot. We have seen player after player hit in the face, either with flying passes, players falling out of bounds, or elbows being thrown. And now Katie Smith will walk to the strike.
Well, and it's interesting to watch Coach Cooper over here. He really has his head down in his hands. And his players continue to do things like this, commit fouls that are unnecessary, stop the clock when it's unnecessary, put people at the free throw line. mean, the game is probably won here, but probably not in the style that Coach Cooper would have liked.
Milton checked out, 13 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. Beasley fouled in the backcourt by Sam. Beasley is 2 of 2 from the line here tonight. It has been an entertaining game, to say the least, though, between these two teams. A lot of physical play, and we saw it between Beasley and Lisa Engler, as you mentioned, Andrea. Two different generations going head-to-head. And Lisa Leslie now will check out, replaced by Nygaard. Lisa Leslie finishing up 22 points and 7 rebounds. Michael Cooper feeling like this one is done with 28 seconds left, taking out 2 of the star players, Milton and Leslie. Katie Smith grabs the rebound and calls timeout.
Well, and this is what we talked about. I mean, Coach Cooper might be over here on this side of the bench thinking that, or on this bench thinking it's over, but Minnesota will never stop playing hard, and they're going to use all their timeouts. They're going to come back and try to knock a 3 down, do whatever they can to continue to fight.
Michael Cooper, who won 5 titles as a player with the LA Lakers, now we'll look ahead to the WNBA playoff picture. First, though, we look in the East. Bill Laimbeer, the WNBA Coach of the Year, as determined yesterday and announced his series tied at 1-1 after the Rockers shocked Detroit in Game 2, and then the Houston Comets returning to their home floor and routing the Monarchs in Game number 2, setting up their showdown tomorrow. Harrower can't get off the 3. Now it's Sam working on Nygaard, and LA can hold on to it. Here's Minnesota, main lay back here. Here's Sam now shadowing Gibson, and that should do it. The defending WNBA champs, the 2-time defending champs, live on in the 2003 WNBA playoffs, winning the series 2 games to 1 over a very feisty Minnesota Lynx squad. 74-64 in favor of LA here in game number 3. Lisa Leslie finishing with a game-high 22 points. Again, all 5 starters finishing in double-figure scoring for LA. The Lynx led by the 17 second-half points of Tamika Williams. Katie Smith finishing with 11 for Minnesota. They also received double-figure scoring. Smith, Tamika Williams, and then off the bench it was Cherie Sam and Harrower combining for 12 points. But Michael Cooper did not need a bench here tonight for the